welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a little quick video, get ready with me, and talk a little bit about being a new mom. And Gates' first birthday is coming up next Wednesday, so I thought this would be a good time to just talk on some mom things. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I guess the first random fact about me, when I was pregnant with Gates, I didn't get any stretch marks. I had a wonderful, beautiful pregnancy. I felt my best. I never threw up, nothing like that. But I did get melasma. And that kind of just comes with the territory. The melasma hasn't bothered me that much. I would like to work on it. Really now it's just about managing it and wearing like a full coverage foundation because I can't do anything light. I gotta wear my SPF because with melasma, keep having babies and you have melasma, it's just gonna get worse because it's a hormonal change in the body. So until I'm done having babies, I'm gonna have to deal with the melasma. Sticking with the baby topic, I never really talked about this before, but when I was having Gates, I actually, it's a little bit of a trigger warning if you get queasy about giving birth, I actually had him crowning. About this much of his head was out, like the very top of his head, and you could see his hair. But I pushed for hours and he wasn't progressing. And then all of a sudden, I started running a fever. My OB came in and said that his heart rate was really out of whack. My fever was going up, so we had to do an emergency C-section. And this is where it gets a little bit queasy, is that I had pushed him so far down where he was ready to come out, but he couldn't because he was for some reason stuck, and I found out later why, that she had to push his head back up inside of me. Yeah, that's right. He was so far down, she had to put her hand inside of me and push him up higher in my stomach so she could make the correct incision for the C-section to get him out. It's really weird because at the time I remember being really scared. They also told me he would be going in the NICU, and that really scared me. And just having an emergency C-section was something that I really didn't prepare for. Of course, how do you prepare for that? But I also just didn't go in having any expectations. I thought whatever happens, happens. However this baby comes, he comes. And I also think that really helped my mindset for when all of this was happening. And by this point, I had 2 epidurals and a spinal block, and I still felt it. And I know that sounds so scary to so many people, like that's your worst nightmare, and it truly was so scary that I kind of was going in and out. And plus they had given me so much pain medicine that kind of alleviate that I was a little loopy. But it's really weird because after you have a baby and how traumatic those things could have been, a little bit later you're like, I think I could do it again because it was worth it. It's very weird how your brain just kind of forgets. But Gates came out and we figured out why he was not progressing down the birth canal, and that was because he had his cord wrapped around his neck so tight 3 times that on the ultrasound it just looked like 1, and that's pretty normal for you to have your cord wrapped around your neck. It was wrapped around 3 times, so basically he had no more slack. Like that kept catching him, so he couldn't go down any further. I think the best thing about motherhood is just, of course, creating your own family, but like just seeing the world through his eyes. It makes life more fun. The smallest things that used to be really mundane are really exciting now. Like, the hardest thing about being a new mom, I think, is probably the lack of sleep, and I knew that was coming. I was pretty prepared, but just Adam is a person that loves sleep and he has to have it to function, and he's such a high energy person that like as soon as his head hits the pillow he is out. And so that has been the hardest on him, which also has been the hardest on me because he works full time. So he's exhausted and I'm exhausted, but I told Adam very early on when we would kind of start to get frustrated at each other just because of the lack of sleep, that we have to celebrate the small wins. And so once we changed our mindset to be like, okay, we are a team, we're not each other's enemy. And yes, we're both tired, but we are a team in this and we're gonna get through this. And this isn't forever. This is gonna, one day we're gonna be like, remember when we were up all night with the baby? And it's gonna be a time of the past. Once we changed our mindset, which don't get me wrong, it can still be hard when you're like so tired and delirious, but when you get a good night's sleep, like the last 3 nights Gates has slept in, and it was just so wonderful, and it like, Adam and I were just like, yes, we made it. But there was one night that we were traveling actually to California, and they have a 2-hour time change from where we are here in Dallas. And so that was really hard on the baby because by the time he was ready to go to sleep, it was still bright outside. The heat and air had went out in our room we were staying at. I was so tired from traveling and then taking care of the baby that he woke up in the middle of the night because he was teething. And I started throwing up because I was so tired. And then Adam got the baby and he stubbed his toe. And it was just, it was a nightmare. And we both just stopped and we just started dying laughing because these were the moments that we're gonna remember forever. And it was so hard, but it was also hilarious. So like, we finally got him to sleep and we laid back in the bed after Adam had hit his toe and I had thrown up that we were just laying in bed and we're like, okay, he fell asleep, let's celebrate the small wins. And we did, and we just moved on with our day and we had a wonderful trip. But one good thing about Adam, and I will say myself, is that we move on. We don't harbor hard feelings. We get into tiffs just like anybody else, especially when you're under a lot of stress and little sleep. I much rather laugh and move on than to dwell on something that I can't change. I've shared this on my Instagram before, so if you don't follow me over there, go follow me because I share a little bit more about my day-to-day. But I've shared with people before that have asked me like, how do you feel like yourself after having a baby? Did you have an identity crisis? And I will say that I didn't have an identity crisis. Having a family is what I've always wanted, and I was so prepared and so ready for it. And I was just so grateful to be able to get pregnant so quickly because a lot of my friends have struggled and I was just so blessed. And some of the struggles that other women have, I didn't have. Like I never had postpartum, but I had an extremely hard time breastfeeding. And a lot of women had asked me how I felt like myself or what I did for myself after giving birth and having a C-section, and then also getting him so close to a natural birth. I was kind of recovering from both births. Like I had 2 births. I had a C-section and a regular birth. And so I told everyone there were 3 things that I did every day. Well, not every day, but most days where I wanted to just feel like myself, because afterwards you're just so focused on the baby because you're feeding them every few hours. They're crying, you're getting to know them, they're getting to know you, and it's just a lot. One thing that I did for myself was when I would wake up or when the baby was asleep, I would at least put on earrings or a necklace, lip gloss, and perfume. I did that every single day. I really do think that helped me feel normal because your body's changing, your whole life has changed, your relationship has now changed, and there's 3 of you instead of just 2 of you. And usually when you're in a relationship, you worry about your relationship and then you just worry about yourself and you get put on the back burner. And those are the things that I did to help me, and they really did help. So I suggest that for any new mom to do that. You just lay out a little pair of earrings, perfume, and a lip gloss at night right before you go to bed, so it's there for you in the morning. And then when I got a little bit more comfortable with the baby and our routine, I would start hot rolling my hair or curling my hair whenever the baby took a nap. You go way back, I think it's like in one of my chat videos, or if you just go to my playlist and go to baby, and I'm like sitting on the couch, I kind of talk about the struggles I had with breastfeeding and how hard it was. For me, because of my anatomy, and just go watch that video if you want. I was curling my hair in that video, or I had my hair curled, and that was because I took the time when the baby was asleep to curl it. Little stuff like that, if you can manage it, not every day, but if you can manage it, really does help. Gates' first birthday is coming up on the 18th, so next Wednesday. And when people say time flies, it really is true. I just cannot believe I'm about to have a 1-year-old. And people have said that the nights are long but the years are short, and that is so true. When you're going through those sleepless nights, it seems like forever, and you're like, how do I get through this? But you find the courage and the strength to make it through. Try to have a happy attitude, positive attitude, and a blink and they're gonna be sleeping through the night, and they're gonna be 1 year old, and you're like, oh my gosh. He's not sleeping through the night all the time because he's teething still, but we're making progress from what it was. If you're a mom right now or in the future, just pocket this little tidbit. I found for me, being super optimistic and changing my perspective helped me. I almost became a delusional optimist is what I like to call it, because I would always be delusionally optimistic. Like, there would be nights that I'm like, the baby is crying, I can't get any sleep, I'm so exhausted, I'm so worn out, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of bed. I would start to change that and be like, you know what, my baby's crying. For me, I am so lucky I have a baby, and I'm so lucky I can hear his cry, that he's alive and well, and that he's crying out for me, and that I give him comfort. And I would start to change my mindset. And then when I would go get him and hold him, and I would be praying over him, and I would just be like, thank you, God, for giving me this baby and like calling me to be a mother and a mother to him. I hope that I do a really good job. I'm really trying my best, and I get frustrated, but I love this baby, and I am up for the challenge of being a good mom. And that is like something that really did help me. Adam is usually the optimist in our relationship, and this time I kind of had to be. Like, this was a very new territory for him too, because he'd never been around babies before, and so he was just in for a trip, to say the least. And so I had to be that voice of reason for him when it came to the baby. And he has definitely been that for me too at times. In most of my life, he has been that way, because I tend to go more pessimistic. But I've said this before about Adam, like, he has really changed the way I view the world, and how he's like really changed my attitude about things. He like sees the world in his life as glass half full, and there's nothing that he can't do or accomplish or see or want, and but also having a gracious and humble heart. And like, that's one takeaway from Adam that I've learned, and I'm really glad he taught me that, because I had to be that for him with the baby. Let me know if you want like a Q&A with me and Adam, so he can speak for himself. We are so lucky that we have Adam's mom in town, and my mom has pretty good flexibility to come here on the weekends when she can, but she lives 7 hours away, and my brother also has kids. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that one of his sons was diagnosed with leukemia when Gates was 6 months old, or actually I think Gates was like 3 months old. My brother's stepson was diagnosed with leukemia, and so my mom had to be really hands-on with him. And so now that my nephew's in remission, they are able to come a little bit more, and I love when my niece and my nephews get to come and visit us, and they are so obsessed with Gates, and they are such good little helpers. They are so sweet to him, and he loves them. He's just like mesmerized by them. He always loves big kids though. Like, he wants to do what the big kids are doing. Adam and I would always say, like, especially in the beginning, like, we found new appreciation for single mothers because, or people that just don't have any help in general, like don't have their parents that live in town or don't have siblings that can help. Like, I feel like my world would be so different if I had a sister that would come help with the baby, but I don't. And I just feel like those people are so blessed. Like, we're so blessed that we have our parents. I just so appreciate the single mothers out there because they have done this all on their own, and like, it's just incredible. Like, recovering from the birth by yourself, taking care of a newborn by yourself, going back to work by yourself, providing for this child by yourself. Like, I am in awe of single mothers. It's like they are more than Wonder Woman in my eyes. So like I said, Gates' birthday is coming up. We're actually having his party this Saturday before his actual birthday, but he will never know. We have a bunch of friends and family flying in from Arkansas and from California because I'm sure you guys know by now, I'm from Arkansas originally, Adam's from California, and it's actually really nice living here in Dallas because the airport is right beside our house and it's kind of in the middle for everyone to come to. He is having a golf themed birthday, and on my Instagram I gave a little sneak peek of one of the party favors that we're having, and it is golf balls from Vice Golf that have his actual face on them. On one side I put first party, get it? And on the other side, I put Gates' picture, and it is so adorable. Yeah, we're actually having his birthday at Top Golf, so all the adults and stuff can play golf, and really there's not a lot of children that are gonna be there. Since he's 1 year old, it's not like he can do a bounce house or anything. There's not a lot of older kids that will be there. We're having it at Top Golf with his golf theme, and I'm super excited because I feel like a baby's first birthday party is really about supporting the parents, and I just feel like so blessed that these people are taking time out of their day to come to a 1 year old's birthday party, but it really means a lot actually. I am planning on recording Gates' birthday party and doing a little YouTube video over it, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully I remember to do it because I'm really bad about forgetting to record, and I'm just like living in the moment, which is not a bad thing, but I do want to capture the memories for sure and share with you guys. But that is all I have for you. I hope you really like this video. If you want me to do more get ready with me's or questions, or if you want Adam in a video to be able to do this with, let me know because that would be really fun too. I just gotta pin Adam down because he is like all over the place all the time. He cannot sit down, so I have to like schedule in an appointment for a YouTube video, but we could do it. But with that being said, I am off to run some errands for the birthday party, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe. I appreciate my new subscribers and my old subscribers. It just makes me so happy to see you guys comment and just interact, and I try to respond to everybody. So leave in the comments below what you want to see next as always, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.